We're delighted that Strawmax are supporting Alphabetti Spaghetti, one of the best shows that we have. And in true Alpha style, here is a little bit more about this incredible straw pellet bedding. So the S, it saves time, it saves money, and it's sustainable. The T, it's time saving. The R stands for real straw. It's really comfortable, really fluffy, really soft, and really easy. The A, it's absorbent and available. W, waste not, it is 100% natural. M, money saving, maximise your pennies, minimise the muck heap. A follows on, it's affordable. X is for extra easy and extra economical. Who does not love any of those qualities? For more information, go to strawmax.co.uk. Oh God, it's so exciting. Happy Hail Bob Day.
It is a happy Hail Bob Day.
Hello, the curse of Diarm.
It's the best finishing score we've seen at 5-star level.
That was our elo coming into the competition.
How much he talks about an FOD and how much it means.
Best show that we have, Alphabetti Spaghetti.
Eventing manager is back. Let's restore order.
I'm looking forward to seeing quality horses.
Still a great day for Ireland.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
I mean, you're a bit of an eventing geek just like us.
The Equa Ratings Eventing Podcast.
What's your favourite Harry Potter book?
Half-Blood Prince, because it starts to show more of the background of Professor Snape, who I would argue is the best character in the entire series.
I think Sam would be a Gryffindor.
Sam is Harry Potter, I'd say.
No, I think Sam is Ravenclaw.
In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man into a sunlit sea. Let me tell you folks that is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the English poet who operated around the time of William Wordsworth. And that was a quote from Kubla Khan, the opening lines, one of his most famous works. Kubla Khan is kind of where would you start with this kind of stuff? Kubla Khan, I think, is, so Xanadu, Kubla Khan, it's all part of like the old Mongol Empire, northern China. And Xanadu, or maybe Kubla Khan, I should say, it's actually his kind of dream place. And if I was to describe my dream place, it would be a stable full of Strawmax bedding. I would lie there on the ground, happy as Larry. So let me just start this Alphabetti Spaghetti with a big thank you to our sponsors, Strawmax, and a big thank you to Mr. Sam Coleridge for all the work he did there on Kubla Khan. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by three very, very special guests. This has been requested on numerous times. I'm not sure we've ever had it before. We've got the host of the Eventing Podcast, the host of all of the proper shows on the Eventing Podcast. Her name is Nicole Brown. Nicole, welcome to Alphabetti Spaghetti.
I mean, I thought the last intro to the letter, what was the last letter? What comes before X in the alphabet? W.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Ragamuffin Army and the Scots sort of English army intro was random. And I took a mouthful of drink, which, listeners, is Prosecco, because I am not in charge. And I just literally filled my mouth with Prosecco, and you go into that. And I don't know what to do.
You didn't think I had Sam Coleridge up my sleeve, did you? Xanadu.
I mean, I've never even heard of Sam Coleridge.
Yeah, no, well, I wasn't surprised by that. But what I mean is Xanadu, I suppose, is a nice kind of educational way to start X. X is quite a hard letter. And it actually, I think we've known for some time as we come to the end of Alphabetti Spaghetti. And listeners, we might need to Strawmax in a few more social media posts and that kind of stuff, because we are, there is no deal agreed to keep Alphabetti Spaghetti alive for any longer.
So, listeners, if you want to keep Alphabetti Spaghetti alive, you've got to tag Strawmax and say, please keep the letters coming.
Keep it alive. Send them a little picture of Alphabetti at the, I actually think it's kind of time that we got to the end of Alphabetti. What I'm getting to here is that we needed a big cast. We needed a big finish. And as we run out of shows, look, there's been big favourites. Look, there's everybody's playing for a place on playoff Super Bowl Saturday. Everybody wants a ticket to the big time. Everybody wants to be on Zed. Oh, Fred, get more of Fred. Oh, Frankie arrived and did a big V show. Oh, yeah. But what about the old reliables? What about the man who spends his time talking about kiss and spine? What about one of the founding members of the Eventing podcast? What about Jenni Autry, ladies and gentlemen? She's on the pod. Welcome, Jay.
Hello.
Oh, she pulled out the big hello. He knows how it works.
I'm filled with regret that I'm here, but I'm here.
Yeah, you say that every time, but everybody wants a ticket to Super Bowl Saturday. It's the last ever Alphabetti Spaghetti, and it's coming soon. So that's the letter Z. We're nearly there. People are delighted that you're on. I know there was great excitement on the internal groups earlier, so Jenni Autry joins us. Last but not least, one of the most emotionally intelligent men in the sport of eventing. He's kind. He's too kind, if anything. He's too in touch with his emotions, if anything. His name is Peter Spike Milligan DeVette. How are you, pal?
I'm very well, thank you very much. I think I must have really impressed you with my emotional intelligence in a previce life, because you're quite keen on raising it.
Every time we've been out, you've brought me to a quiet corner and told me stories about your life and your love life and your children, and you end up with tears in your eyes. A child, and I end up, sitting there being like, "Oh yeah, I'm just over with Spike. No, he just needs a minute.
Because he has the emotional range of a teaspoon, so he really.
Look, I'm Irish, Jenny. We don't have that wide range here in Ireland. Where, as you know, we're simple creatures. We're simple creatures. Should we get started? On the topic of Xanadu and Kubla Khan and Coleridge, I'd like to kick this Alphabetti Spaghetti off. I'm going to kick it off with Peter. Peter, tell me about your dream place. I'm thinking like a kind of a palace for adults. I'm thinking you can have anything you want. Money's not a problem, location's not a problem, but really what I'm focusing on here is features. What would you have if you could have anything? What's your palace?
Okay, so I'm probably like a mountains guy over a beach or anything like that kind of guy. So I think I'd have my dream place probably in the mountains with some snow around me. And so, I think that probably in the Alps. Nice wooden chalet, outdoor hot tub with a open fire next to it, outdoor barbecue with something that we may well have either hunted or shot during the day in between the skiing, and I'd have a nice car in the driveway for when it thaws. Probably a Ferrari.
What do you mean now when you say like hunted or shot? Like, what are you going to be shooting out there?
Oh, anything that gets in my way, basically.
Bears in the mountains.
I'm not going to eat a bear.
No,
he's talking about nice
like
stuff.
Deer or something like that.
Oh my God. Spike, welcome
let's
to
not go.
You can't be doing that kind of stuff.
I'm watching this amazing show on Netflix called Meat Eater, and it's all about this American chap who lives in Alaska who goes hunting, and then it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. How's his colon?
It's not specifically referenced, but he looks pretty healthy.
I'll tell you why. Because it's in bits. That's why. Anyway, there won't be a follow-up series on Netflix about him because he should have been eating his veg. Right, let's keep moving. I can see Nicole's getting irritated as we've only been on the show for minutes and we've managed to get into veganism.
It's like the conversation just gets directed towards meat every single time. Every single time. Anyway, move on.
Hang on, we did vegetables on V.
Spike.
Yeah, we
You
did
did poke
vegetables.
the bear there because you knew he was going to bite.
All right, I'm sorry, Nicole, if animal cruelty makes me bite, if kind of going out and shooting things, not from a veterinary point of view, but from what seems to be some class of pleasure shooting. Sorry if in 2021 that makes me bite. I'll move on. Jenny, what would you think about your palace?
It's probably going to be in Italy.
Nice.
Probably going to be like
good
a
choice.
villa on a hill in Tuscany. It's probably going to have an amazing wine cellar.
Oh, I want to be in Jenny's villa now.
No, you're off shooting things. Go ahead. Go on, Jenny. This is
You
unreal. made
made your choice. There's no room for you. Yeah, and it's probably going to have a lot of cats. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not there now.
Yeah, okay. That Jenny, view of the sea or not bothered?
I could take the sea. I'd be quite happy either way. I'd be quite happy with the view of vineyards as well.
Do you know where I'd like to send you? Puglia.
I know we have talked about this. It's on the list. I know you've told me that I would really enjoy it.
I just can't stress how made for you it is. It's just a.
I know.
Where's
like
that
my
again?
natural habitat.
Sorry?
Puglia, Nicole. Forget about it.
Is that in the heel of the boot?
It's the very heel of the boot,
Yeah,
not all the way down to the very bottom, not the very, very bottom. That's well, maybe Puglia does stretch down there, but we didn't go all the way to the very, very bottom. But yeah, God, if anyone's interested in a holiday, it's a nice mix between it's not wrecked like the south of Spain, with bingo and news of the world, but also it's not, it's not like you're going on it's not like untouched waters as well, because I'm not up for that either. I like my comfort as much as the next person. So yeah, Puglia, I must say, just an absolutely fantastic, one of the best ever holidays I had. Very little travel, kind of laid on travel. So you've got to get couldn't be driving. You wouldn't want to rent a car, I wouldn't say, around those roads. So you go in taxis and, hour-long taxis, that kind of stuff. Anyway, fantastic. I remember the days we used to be able to go on holidays.
I know. Well, I've been dying to get back to Italy, but that hasn't really happened. I don't know when it will happen.
Not until you arrive
next year.
in 2022.
For work.
For work, yeah. But will you be able to stay for a bit before or after, or do you have to travel with the team in a kind of official capacity? Or do you think they'd let you would you be able to go on a kind of suss it out mission? Don't they normally do that stuff?
Yeah, we're definitely going on a recce at some point. I'm not entirely sure when, but of course,
This is this Montelibretti, Jay?
No,
Bertoni.
World,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's catching up on us, Peter, because of the late Olympics. It's a funny little run that we have, isn't it? With Olympics, Europeans, and Worlds in 12 months.
Well, makes up for being starved of eventing. Oh no, we're not allowed to talk about eventing. Sorry about that.
We'll take it.
It does. Knickers.
Yes.
As a lady who lives on 600 acres of lush territory, tell us about another palace that you'd like.
Firstly, I think probably wishes it was 600 acres. I'll be honest. So our palace, I thought about this. I was thinking that actually we'd really like a renovation palace, because we all know how much I love to knock something down and build stuff. So, and go through the drama of a renovation. So I think it would be one that needed a bit of TLC. It would have lots of space around it, and probably some would be nice and hilly. Why is everybody laughing at me?
I've just got this image of Nicole's you've been offered your dream, and you're still living in a caravan outside of your dream villa.
That would be preferable. Yeah.
We don't have to live in the caravan, because if we're living in a palace, then we'd be able to have some sort of setup that is superior to the caravan. But I'll be honest, I really love picking stuff and knocking stuff down and renovating stuff. So especially if there are options here, I think this would be amazing fun. So yeah, I'm going to renovate my palace. And I would say it's not going to be stupidly enormous. It's going to be a good size family home that is practical.
I've never
I
heard.
really prefer if it doesn't have running water.
Yeah,
That would be preferable. For sure.
I've just never heard a more depressing.
I can't bath for 2 years because we don't have a bath big enough in the caravan. The last so when we were in the caravan, I tried to get in the bath, and because I was really, really, really missed having a bath, and I got wedged because it was so small, basically.
Rim.
It was a Toby-sized bath. So anyway, let's be honest, renovating a palace is probably a different experience to renovating living in a static caravan. I don't know. This is fantasy land, so it can be whatever I like.
I know. If I'm honest, and we do let you away with the dream holiday where you kind of talk about, how much you love all and how much you love tea and how much you love sitting and like just looking at the simple things in life and the boot of the car open and just looking out with a cup of tea on Devon. However,
brand of baked beans and all that.
Yeah. But when you get offered a palace with anything allowed, and you pick, I think what you described it as slightly bigger than a standard family home that you just wanted to do up.
Okay. Can I have a housekeeper? Because I think on the practical side of things, think of all that cleaning and that dusting and everything else.
Yeah.
If I've got a housekeeper, great.
Yeah.
I'd also, in that case, I'd like an estate.
All right, go on.
It has a farm on it.
A bit like Arville.
You liked Arville? Yeah, so I love Arville. Yeah, I could live in Arville. Probably has a working farm on it, and we'll have lots of really nice hacking, and Oliver could have his own sort of, as many machines as he wanted, and he'd be happy.
Yeah.
And I would have horses and just be able to hack on your own land. That'd be lovely, and not have to go anywhere else. You could just
And you think you wouldn't be able to hack on your own land at the moment? Be too tight with it?
Well, I mean, we've got like 13 acres, so we're very lucky. But
be tight enough.
You probably get bored after a couple of laps of a couple of fields.
You probably would. Yeah. Have you seen the balcony outside the house?
How many acres have you got there, Dee?
I'd say Spike. It would be. It would be 10 feet to the end of the house.
What about the new place?
Moving from big renovation jobs to other big renovation jobs. How is what can only be described, Jenny Autry, as an absolute debacle, which is the garage doors on your house, which are roundy, compared to all of the other windows and doors, which are square. It was one of the strangest architectural builds that we've ever seen.
I would like to point you to Exhibit A, which is the arched window in my office. So It did make sense, Dermot.
And what about the Spanish tiles?
This is really irrelevant for the listeners because they can't see any of this. So
they'll appreciate
Jenny.
My tiles are great. Thank you. I love my house in Lexington. Thank you. And you were of no help at all to me in choosing anything that went into the house. So thank you.
I was, Jenny. I was.
Nicole was, yes.
I was impressed that you have a room described as a great room, and it's big enough to be a great room. Has it lived up to its name?
It's a living room that connects to the dining room and the kitchen, so it's like an open concept situation.
I absolutely love it. Anyway, it's the main thing. I absolutely love it. It looks smart. Are we done with the palaces? I mean, I must say, I was thinking more like Richie Rich. I was thinking more like you'd have slides inside on balconies. I think
the thing is that we're all actually quite simple people, like at heart. We like our nice things, but we're actually not extravagant, fancy people. So I think our answers actually make sense based on who we are.
You're definitely simple. Let's keep going. This is an interesting one because Nicole Brown spent an awful lot of time, as we know, behind the bike shed at the Young Farmers. So the next question, lads, is X. It's just X, which is, of course, for kissing. We'll also talk about on the show, because one of my favorite topics, people who do X at the end of a message, people who do XXX, people who do XOX, I just think it's an absolute minefield. Like people who sign off at this, it can go any which way. It can be friend to friend. It can be suggestive. XOX, I would say, is always falls into the bracket of friend zoning you, or maybe from a girl to a girl. An X, I don't know what girls to girls do, but XOX feels appropriate. I don't know. Anyway, let's just go with X for now. And X, of course, in this case, is about kissing. I'm not interested in your kissing lives. I am interested in your first kiss. The first time, you know, the awkwardness of a child essentially kissing another child. And how like mind-blowingly exciting it was. I was very young, I'd say. And I thought I was actually going to get married to this girl. Her name was Laura Coach. And I cannot express how she made my heart explode with joy and love. And this time I thought I kissed her. Like, you know, like we were standing, like I was thinking about not this first kiss, but just kissing. Like I was a child once. And
you've said that,
right? I was a child.
Say the C word again.
I walked down the canal line, which is like a river for you, Jay. Canal. Like, I don't think you have canals in America, do you?
Yes, we do.
Do you? I thought it was Europe. Anyway, we've got canals. There was a canal outside my house as a child. I walked down the canal. I used to go fishing every day, and I thought it was quite funny because I was remembering a memory of, even though we were so far away from.
Can I pause the story? Can anyone envision D fishing?
Oh yeah, I was a big fisherman. I'm a big fisherman, Jay.
Does anyone see that now?
What were you fishing for? Avocados?
Like, I don't mind the odd bit of fish. As you know. It's a little bit different, like fishing and shooting bears or deers. So don't try to compare those things. Don't make me out to be the monster. Anyway, I was catching fish. I was putting them back. The types of fish only really, I suppose, relevant to Irish and English people. But I was catching things like bream and tench, rudd, roach, and probably eels. We used to sell eels to a man who lived in the park for 50p, and he used to put them on a pan when they were live. And that was a story.
Is that like when you used to sell the candy bars to people?
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to the point here. I'm talking about kissing. I was probably about 10. I was probably about 2 miles down a canal line fishing. But I still remember we used to bring like a couple of girls down with us from the park. Jenny's ears are spiking up, right? The girls would come down and be like, you know, the boys are fishing. The girls would come down to be chatting. But you know what made me laugh? We didn't just like kiss on the canal bank, even though there was no one there. We had to like step in behind a tree, even though we were like, you know, 2 miles away from like the nearest other person. We had to like walk in behind a tree, and we'd kiss behind a tree and walk out. We're only babies, like. Anyway, everybody's nodding. Oh, whatever, 10. Like, you know.
This is, you're one of my dearest friends, but this is like deeply disturbing on another level. So.
Oh, the children kissing.
I
don't. Did you not? What age were the first kisses? We were pretty. I mean, where the school I went to was pretty raw. I'd say it was pretty late in the game at 9 or 10. I mean, it's horrifying now as a parent to think like, you know, that child could be kissing someone. But yeah, 9 or 10, I'd say, was where we grew up. What about America then? Were you later? You were later, were you?
I very respectfully declined to answer this question. So, like, over to you.
Peter, what were you kissing? First.
I mean, I don't remember any of this sort of 9-10-year-old child type description that you're talking about.
You were a child once, weren't you? I'm not talking about.
Yeah, but I don't remember kissing people.
I think fishing was the key there. That's how they reeled them in.
We were.
I mean, I'm sure there was like that kind of like, it was sort of, I don't know, when you're 9 or 10, it was all that kind of like, that silly, like, you know, you're scared of girls and stuff. Still am, in fairness. My first actual kiss was when I was about 15. I mean, I was at a little boys' boarding school.
More normal age, just for reference, yeah.
It depends where you're from. It depends on your. Honest to God, like I was.
You needed a canal, Spike. That was where you were really missing out.
Spike, tell me. Spike,
Just needed to find myself a canal. That's what I needed. That's what I
Spike,
needed.
tell me about your first kiss. Was it good?
I don't even remember it, in fairness.
What was her name?
Let's hope she's not listening.
He's in Amsterdam,
I remember it probably being quite awkward. I was probably pretty terrible. I think there may have been a bit of teeth clashing with teeth action.
Yeah.
I mean, just a pretty terrible experience, isn't it? Really. I mean, it's all great at the time. Like you think you're kind of.
It's a
growing
French
up
kiss. Let's
in
be
the
clear,
moment.
isn't it? It's a French kiss. Like, it's not like the peck you would get as a child when you'd be saying good night. When you do your first kiss, everybody remembers their first kiss. Right, you go on, Nicole. Tell me about your first kiss.
I mean, it's fairly shocking.
Farmers.
I think we should just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. We can all. It was fairly shocking.
It would have been Young Farmers Party.
Yeah, go on.
And he bit my lip, right? And it swelled up so badly that my parents the next day were like, "Oh, what happened to your lip?" And I had to pretend that I fell over or that somebody I don't even know what I said, somebody elbowed me or something, because I went around with a really, really, really fat lip all day. And it's a wonder I ever kissed anyone ever again.
Injured. That's a
He bit it in kind of like a...
No, like just in a clumsy, hideous look.
Tooth clashing kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. terrible.
Animalistic. Just awful. Yeah. So anyway, that was my
Exactly.
first
I
experience.
agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's how it all was for all of us. I enjoy all that stuff. It's
Yeah,
funny.
you have to explain a fat lip to your parents, though. I mean,
I know.
that was
I know.
fairly
It's not-
mortifying.
Right. Let's talk about... A good few people sent this in. I think I'll find out who it was in a minute. X is a very difficult letter. But let's talk about X-rays. I remember Jenny sending us an X-ray of her body fairly smashed up. I don't think there is a worse break than that anyone could come up with. Jay, it was the worst, wasn't it? That time you broke your clavicle.
No, it was the humerus, which is the second largest bone in the body.
Oh yeah, I thought I would never. Yeah. Go on. Tell us again.
Yeah, it was broken straight through. I would not recommend that to anyone. Don't do that. But yeah, and I didn't have surgery, which I also don't know that I would recommend to anyone. So I did 6 weeks in a sling. It's mostly right now.
Why did you not have surgery?
Because of the way it was broken. It was right under the joint, so I could get away with having it in a sling. It was a fairly clean break. It was straight through the bone, but it was clean enough that it was recommended to me that I could go the non-surgical route, and so I did. And I credit to my orthopedist
How did it happen?
in Boyd Martin's cross-country schooling field, which could tell a lot of stories, that cross-country schooling field. But my sweet horse, Gary, who I've since sold, and who's having a lovely second career with a very lovely lady out in Washington State. But anyway, just schooling a corner, he left a bit of a leg, and down we went. And I think he kind of kicked my shoulder as I was going down, and the force of that flung my arm into the ground, and then crack.
You didn't know though straight away, did you? Because I remember the first message that arrived in the podcast group back in those days was, I don't know if you remember it, Nickers, but it was something. It wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
I thought I might have just dislocated it. Well, and then when I looked back behind me, it was at a very odd angle, so I knew something was wrong. So your brain, just the way your brain reacts, I whipped it back against me, and then that caused me to pass out because, that was jostling quite a lot of bone on bone at that point. But anyway, when I came to, I still hoped that it was hopefully just dislocated.
Would you be squeamish now, Jay, about that kind of stuff? Would you be hard ass, or would like breaks and blood and that kind of stuff be kind of bit?
No, I was all right about it.
You're all right about it.
Yeah. They, Boyd's groom, Stephanie Simpson, she and Jimmy Schramm, who was with me at the time, they hoisted me up off the ground into a car. Off we went to the hospital for an x-ray, and we still hoped it was dislocated. But as we were sitting waiting for the x-ray, it was kind of getting larger and larger, the swelling. So it.
What's the story in America? Can you just drive into a hospital?
Yes.
How big is an A&E in America?
So the one I went to was quite small. There were no rooms or anything. So I was just sitting out in the kind of, not the waiting area, but wherever you go back into where the exam rooms are. All the exam rooms were full. And so we were just waiting for the x-ray. And then they pulled the x-ray up on a computer screen kind of across the room. Yeah. And I won't tell you the words that Jimmy Schramm said, but when we saw the x-ray, it was very clear that it was not dislocated and that my arm was very, very broken. And so then I was sitting there calling different orthopedic surgeons about what to do. So yeah, don't recommend doing that to anyone. Don't break your humerus. And if you do, probably you should have surgery.
And do you regret doing all the interviews at Kentucky not long after without a sling, pretending you were fine?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. That was extremely painful because it really wasn't healed. What was that, like, what was it, 2 weeks after? That was very long.
It was very soon after, because I remember you talking about
Jenni,
it.
At 2 weeks, it's at its most fragile.
It was very painful, Spike. I will not.
Yeah, I can imagine. 2 weeks, fractures are at their most fragile. It
was very painful. But I felt like it wasn't a great image to have a sling on while I was doing the commentary for a 5-star. So I chose not to. And my orthopedic surgeon did support that, but obviously with me being very careful. And
he was about to charge you to fix it. He was very happy for you to do that.
Are you all fixed now, Jenni? Is it all better?
Yeah, I've done a lot of yoga to get it right, to be honest. I never did formal physical therapy either. I just did my own stretches and my own yoga.
I would not have you down for yoga. What kind of yoga do you like?
Have we never talked about this? How do you not know this?
I mean, you're into yoga, are you?
Didn't we do live yoga on the podcast once?
Yeah, this rings a bell.
Anyway, I'd be quite into yoga.
Well done. I got into it there for a while, and now
it came up, D, because you were late because you'd been at yoga, and then I think you got into a discussion. Yeah,
I actually think it's one of the things that I miss most. Got into it. I haven't really made it a habit yet. It's not like I haven't got it into my routine enough that like it's just part of your everyday, which I think is really key. But
I started doing hot yoga before Tokyo.
Oh yeah, it's business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I loved it. It's great.
You're stretchier in hot yoga because you're hot. Mm-hmm. You're able to do. I did a few hot yoga classes, Jay. I thought I was God's gift to yoga. But then when you go back to doing normal yoga, I'm back to like a plank of wood. Peter, you love yoga.
Yourself.
Sorry, no, me. Yeah, me, not you, obviously. Me.
No, I wouldn't say I was a yoga enthusiast.
A yogi.
No. Not cold or hot, in fairness.
No, yeah. Talk to me about x-rays. Have you ever broken anything badly, Peter? Apart from all the
broken my nose twice. And
with horses or people?
First time I was playing football or soccer, as they call it over there, Jenni. And I went up for a header and I managed to sort of bury my nose in some other chap's head. And I went down sort of holding my face, thinking I'd done something quite bad. And my teammates came over and they were like, "Oh, move your hands so we can see." And I moved my hands and they all just recoiled. And then my best friend Ian, who's also an equine vet, funnily enough, had to remove pieces of his hair from the open wound in my nose before they bandaged me up and sent me off playing.
That's grim.
Yeah.
That's really grim.
Yeah. And then the second time it was a horse. A horse kicked me in the face, broke my nose and split my eye and my eyebrow.
How common is that? That seems to be a thing that people talk about. Like, you guys would probably see more than me, the kind of real life behind the scenes. But like, horses
getting kicked,
vets or grooms, I suppose. Like,
it's rough. It's rough times being around the back end of a horse. Yeah, no, there's plenty of vets. There was not long ago, an Irish vet got killed actually, and then just in the run up to Tokyo, a very very well known equine vet called Andy Bathe, who is a surgeon in Newmarket. Was the Japanese team vet. He got kicked by a horse while examining it, and it broke his neck, and he wasn't able to go to Tokyo. I think he's going to be fine, but yeah, you're in the firing line.
When I was young, you used to always say, "Don't stand behind a horse," and then
that's still true.
Then we all do.
But then I got parachuted into Camilla, I suppose, really, rather than Sam. And I got dropped into Spike. I mean, you were there at the very beginning of it all, where I was asking you questions about what to say and the beginning.
What are we talking about here, D? Are we talking about the horses, or are we talking about Camilla?
We're talking.
So pleased you said that, Spike. I was dying slightly.
We're talking about in my everything I'd been told about life was never walk behind a horse, never stand behind a horse. And then all of a sudden, everyone was like, put them studs in. Muck out and walk behind a horse. And I never forget, all I can ever think about walking behind a horse is this thing is going to smash me up if I walk behind it. There's little things that people don't tell you, as you walk around a horse, you touch it on the side. So you kind of rub your hand around a horse. Is that correct? And you kind of tell them, I'm coming around you now. To be fair?
That's what they teach you in Pony Club.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, but I mean that is kind of where I'm at that level, Jay. I'm not even at Pony Club.
We know, D. We know.
Fair enough. Nicole Brown, have you ever broken anything?
Her lip. We established that earlier.
Yeah. She just breaks hearts. See, that's all she does.
I fractured my wrist.
Wow, keep going.
I fell off a horse, landed on my feet, held onto the reins, and it pulled back and fractured my wrist of all the broken bones that I've had. And I've had some fairly nasty falls along the time. But anyway, no, so that's all I've done, thankfully. I feel very fortunate. But I have got a very wonky nose. If you ever look at me close up, my nose is very wonky.
In what sense?
Well, it's literally curved. The bottom is very broken.
How did you do it, though? I'm just going onto your Instagram here. God knows there'll probably be a picture of you on your Instagram, will there?
I don't even know how I did it, to be honest. It was probably one of the falls along the way that I never really noticed. But now, if you look at me straight on in a photo, it literally, my nose goes straight down and then it curves off to the side. You're all looking at photos of me now. I can tell you are.
Yeah.
I've never noticed. So you could have just not said anything and no one would have ever noticed.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
totally fine. And then away it goes.
I mean, I'm just looking at the photo of you on the Eventing podcast sort of, logo type thing. And yeah.
I'm looking at a photo of watermelons with you with kind of blue eyes.
I feel like now everybody's going to be looking at my nose, which is not the case. I didn't mean it quite like that, but that would be something that is a bit,
You're great.
I've never noticed.
No,
don't worry, Nicole. I've got my broken. I had it straightened the first time I broke it, and my friends accused me of having plastic surgery. I thought it was a little bit harsh.
I was punched in the nose once, and it was broken. Yes, not surprising. I was punched in the nose and it broke my nose.
That was just Spike.
Again,
I'm a lover, not a fighter, Nicole. I've never punched anyone.
Okay.
Well, you'll enjoy this. I was on holidays with a friend of mine's family. But this friend was
Were you by a canal?
I wasn't by a canal. I was actually by the sea, and I was in the south of Spain.
Were you fishing?
I was fishing for women.
There it is.
I was out on a night out, again, about 15.
Maybe this is what Dee means about fishing, that actually it's like a euphemism. He's just
fishing in the canal.
The first time I was fishing in the canal. Whereas this time I was a teenager.
The canal of life.
Where this is going.
I wasn't this time. These are literal listeners. I'm talking only the literal sense. The second time I was on holidays. Anyway, long story short, on the way home from a night out, a man punched me in the nose. Probably deservedly.
What did you do to provoke him?
So no, that's the problem. So I can only presume I deserved it. You know, I mean, if you find yourself in a state where you don't know how you got punched in the nose, you probably deserve to get punched in the nose. However,
that should go on a t-shirt, by the way.
Well, I think that's probably a universal truth, I would say. But the next day I was due to go home, and I'd been away on holidays with my friend's parents, and the dad had to drive me to the airport, and my face. So I had 2 black eyes, and my nose was just like, I didn't get punched in the eyes, but like, you know, when you break your nose, your eyes go black, basically. So my nose was flat on my face, and I had 2 black eyes. I might imagine a teenager going on holidays with your family, and then you put them back on the plane like this. And I always thought this was a funny maneuver from this man. He gave me €50 and said, "Don't tell your parents this happened with me," and put me on the plane.
Well, weren't they going to see when you got off the plane?
No. Got the bus home.
The bus. When you exited the bus, they would see that. It wasn't going to improve in a very small span of time, but
yeah,
€50 anyway. I just don't understand the logic.
I just basically had to fluff the situation enough so that it didn't happen with my friend's family. I can't remember. I'm sure my parents knew. They were disapproving of that family anyway. Anyway, look, it is what it is. I just thought it was a funny thing to do for that man to give me €50. I was only a teenager, and he said, "Don't tell your parents this happened with me."
I mean, you could probably get arrested for doing that these days.
For what? Giving a child €50?
And saying, "Don't tell anyone I did that to you."
He didn't do it to me. What's wrong with you? He was the dad of the family I was on holidays with.
Yeah, I know, but that would totally be misconstrued. Like, that's weird. That's weird.
I think we need to get Jeremy on to learn more about what happened.
It's a bit weird, but like, he's basically trying to protect his reputation. I don't think he can get arrested for it. Like, you're suggesting he's after doing something.
It's weird. It's really weird.
You can't get arrested for being weird, Nicole.
Okay, well.
Okay, right. We better move on with the game. Right, I'll go into the I'll go to Discord, the Discord group.
Do we need to talk about Discord? This is the first show we're recording since the whole Discord Flick group, but actually we'll probably have other shows that are out before this one.
Jenny, we used to rock up on the Flick group every so often, but I wouldn't say it was part of your daily life. However, you've made it to the Discord group. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it seems perfectly fine for a substitute for the Flick group.
Okay, before we go on, actually, there's one interesting one in from Nicole, one of the key members of the Flick group, the Discord group. She wants to know about exes, and in particular, she wants to know only one question. He's shaking his head because he's in the group. So
I did see that. I did see it. I did actually see the comment.
Well, you know what's coming then.
In the Discord.
But for the listeners who aren't in the Discord,
people need to know. It's like a movie where there's a cliffhanger, and you need to know what happens. So
okay, so let's just give context for everybody. So there once was a girl. She was actually a lovely, lovely girl.
I feel like Dee shouldn't tell the story.
Well, she would. Look, they were a lovely pair.
I'd interrupt when he gets it wrong.
They were a lovely pair. They were made for each other. Lots. Everyone used to say they're such a nice couple. And then what happened? Other than she needed to go to America, and she said, I remember she just turned around and she said, "Will you come with me? Will you come with me? Peter, will you come with me?"
Story is she broke his heart and stole his teddy bear. That's the story.
The story is she said, "I've got to go to America," and Spy said, "Here, take my teddy because I'm not coming."
Yeah, she left him and took his teddy bear. That's the story. So we want to know what happened.
Will you come with me, Peter? Will you come with me, Peter? And he walked over to her and he said, "I will not."
So, Dee, I wasn't really invited along for the trip.
You weren't. I know, Peter, but
no. So, for various reasons, she had to go to Arizona, and she ended up staying there to study at a university there for a few years. And when she left, because at the time when she left, we thought that we were maybe going to try and make the long distance thing work. So I gave her, as a token, my childhood teddy bear. which is where this comes
Probably
from.
probably could have done better. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh my God, you meant the world to me. Come on, what else could I have done?
Yeah, what else could he have done?
Other than go, granted.
Don't forget, Jenny, he also had given her one of those necklaces with the half.
Like I gave her a friendship bracelet or something. Like
no, he gave her a half necklace.
With half the heart, and he had the other half.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that. Anyway, she graduated from America. She came back, and she is very happily married with kids, and is all very happy. I believe.
So what happened to the teddy? I'm curious to know.
Good question. I don't know. Actually,
this is the question.
Well, this is what people want to know. We need.
I don't know.
That's on the letter T, by the way, listeners. If you want to go back and relive this story in full, it's on the letter T Alphabetti.
I mean, it would seem a little odd to sort of make contact now through Facebook and be like, "Hey,
I don't think it's odd.
You got my teddy."
This podcast I'm on, the guys are really worried about what happened to my teddy when I left you and you went to America by yourself, and I just sent you with my childhood teddy.
Yeah,
well, lads, I found something good here. Mary 13. I like that we're going to have funny names on this Discord group. Mary 13 wants to know this. Christmas, obviously Xmas to make it fit in. Christmas traditions or non-traditional things. We all have had some very good Christmas conversations in the past. We've talked about Christmas pajamas, and we've talked about the animals that eat trifle at the end of Christmas dinner and that kind of stuff. Jenny, Christmas, anything you'd like to add this evening? Non-traditional or traditional things?
Well, it might be a podcast tradition at this point, but Love Actually, obviously.
Correct, Jenny. Correct.
Yes.
What's the best moment in Love Actually, Jay?
There's a lot, D.
I know, but what's the best one?
The best one is when Uncle Jamie goes to find Aurelia and professes his love for her, I would argue. But there's a lot of
and then it had like all the family walking down, Miss Dunkin' Donuts 94, whatever it was.
Exactly.
And then what's the line, Jay? What's the famous line when she's on the balcony and he goes in? Remember, it was you learned English. Just in cases.
Just in cases.
Oh, man. Well, God, Love Actually. What a moment. I would also say I had a Love Actually moment myself, Jay, as I waited for Sam to come home from Tokyo. I was standing at the arrivals hall in Dublin Airport, and I just felt
Did you stand there with cards? Did you just stand there with cards and like change the card of what was written?
Peter, that's a completely different moment. We're talking about the arrivals hall. So this is like, this is where Martine McCutcheon, Tommy Love and Care, she runs and jumps into Hugh Grant's arms.
And hugs, grabs
in
Hugh
the
Grant.
big red coat and the red beret. But so many moments.
Pause.
There's
Can I
so many
guess
good
who
moments.
ran
It's hard
into
to
whose
pick one.
arms? Between you and Sam? Like, can I guess that it was, was
D
it...
totally has the higher emotional in sort of...
It would be D jumping into Sam's arms.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
I mean, 100%. I mean, did anything about that? I didn't jump into his arms. Actually, what happened was he came around and tapped me on the shoulder and I gave him a hug. And he put his arm...
So it wasn't the same at all. It wasn't...
He was startled by the suddenness.
He was wheeling his bag in his full Ireland get-up with his Ireland bag and his Ireland hat and his Ireland everything. I'm sure, Jay, you got used to seeing those tracksuited men and women over the course of the last month. But he was in all his gear. And then I was so excited to see him. But again, as you've all recognized, he doesn't have a high emotional intelligence level and he's not that bothered by life. And I hugged him, but he held onto his bag with one arm and didn't do anything with his other arm. So it was like hugging a man who has their arms down by their side.
That's really awkward.
So
I actually feel sorry for you there, D.
Would you say this has impacted you? Yeah, would you say this has impacted you on a deep emotional level, D?
No, I'm so used to it, Jenny. Like myself and Sam are in a relationship that's fully based on me loving him.
If that was me and you, I'd have given you a big old man hug back because we have high emotional intelligence.
It's already established that you're more highly evolved emotionally.
Yeah. And if it was
Did he really just stand there like a cold fish and just held onto his bag?
Well, he did like to kind of, he didn't hug me back, but also he would like he kind of like smiled and just said, I was like, welcome home. Jesus.
Not even a little cheeky kiss on the cheek or anything.
Look, not even that. Like, I don't know how many times I've kissed Sam, and never once has he kissed me back. Never once. Never once. No, I looked at him and I said, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. And he was like, cheers, mate. Cheers for getting me. The end. And then straight into like business or straight into kind of just life admin. There's
Is that why Sam's not allowed on Alphabetti? Because he doesn't really have like stories
he's been
like
on.
that.
I think he's been on. But he's just
He doesn't like it. I think he finds it a bit trivial. Wouldn't be his favourite show.
It is.
His stories are sort of like this happened and then that was the end. Like it wouldn't have a.
Yeah, there's no crack about him. There's no. It's all business. It's all. It's all about progress and progress and process. Is that what he says? Progress and process.
Yeah.
But it's kind of 9 o'clock on a Friday night and you're drinking red wine and he'll corner you about progress and process and Jesus Christ, and where are you out?
Can't stand the word process.
Process.
Oh.
He's a great lad, but yeah, he wouldn't. I'd have no interest in hugging you back. Where was I?
Xmas.
Christmas. Love Actually.
Love Actually. Oh, super. Do any of you wear Christmas pajamas?
No. I mean, no. So no.
I'm just looking at Jenny's face, listeners, and I cannot express how much disdain she's looking at me with. She's moved into the Sam role on Alphabetti Spaghetti, which is just outright disgust that this gets its own show. And by the way, Jenny, a sponsored show. Let me just tell you, the overview, not sponsored. Multiple other shows, not sponsored, but Strawmax wrap their loving arms around Alphabetti Spaghetti.
No, in answer to the pajama question, not a big fan personally of Christmas pajamas. I would be a big fan of dressing Tobes up in Christmas attire. Like the first year he was born, he was an elf, and the pictures are all, he looks so miserable about being an elf. But no, now I'm far more practical, and
do you wear pajamas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she 100% does. Yeah.
Do you think pajamas are?
I mean, that was a line that I never thought I'd hear you ask me. To be honest,
what I mean is, there's ranges of pajamas. There's like normal things that people go to bed in, but then like there's pajamas when you imagine like Christmas, and I think particularly America, where people kind of wear like a top and a bottoms that are kind of coordinated in some way. Like people wear kind of pajamas in America. Whereas I don't think anyone if you were to go into Marks and Spencer's, you wouldn't find pajamas.
I don't want to discuss pajamas in America, but I can confirm that not everyone wears coordinated items. Thank you very much.
Peter, have you worn pajamas, Peter, in 20 years?
I wear like pajama shorts.
What, Nicole? This is my point. People don't wear pajamas. A lot of people.
Yeah, people do wear pajamas.
But I just do we need to everybody's going to get images? Do we need to start talking about what we all wear?
I'm just saying, I don't wear pajamas.
I tell you what I'd love to wear. How about some
I don't wear
branded
I wear
podcast
t-shirts.
pajamas?
Stop. Please, somebody stop him.
Peter, what about you?
What about me?
Do you wear pajamas like a child?
I just said I do. I wear pajamas. I wear they're like pajama shorts.
Yeah, but you're not like Paddington Bear going to bed, are you? Like you're not like wearing a coordinated button-up get-up.
No, thankfully we could never respect him again. So I'm glad that's the answer.
That's my point. Look, that's my point. All of you lot in the gutter forever. All I'm saying is, not everyone wears that. No. Oh, Jay, found something for you. Expelliarmus from Deborah. What's your favorite Harry Potter book?
Half-Blood Prince. Because it starts to show more of the background of Professor Snape, who I would argue is the best character in the entire series. And I welcome people to challenge me on that. I'm ready.
Controversial statement right there.
Is it? I would argue it's not.
Well, if, Nicole, we had a sorting hat on this little group, I explain quite a lot, is all I'm saying. I'm not
Jenny's
a sorting
off
hat.
to Slytherin. What house would you be in?
I personally would be a Hufflepuff because I'm a hard worker, but not altogether anything else. And I think that's a Hufflepuff.
Dee knows what house I'm in.
Slytherin.
I do. She is a Slytherin, and she makes
That
no
is
bones
correct.
about it.
I would love to be a Gryffindor, but realistically, I'm not brave enough. So I think I would also be a Hufflepuff.
I think you are a bit of a Hermione Granger at times. There is a bit of that in you.
Yeah. Spike, what would you be?
I'm not sure if I've ever thought about it.
Now's your chance.
I think everyone liked to think that they were a Gryffindor, but I think, it takes. I think you've got to be kind of a bit courageous and bold to just say that. So, I'll give it. I'd be a Gryffindor. Put my life on the line every day, saving horses'
The
lives.
sorting
Saving
hat
horses' lives,
is literally laughing its head off.
I'm not. I don't think I'd be a Slytherin because I just don't. I'm not like crafty enough.
You are so
I
far from
reckon
Slytherin.
Spike could be a Ravenclaw.
What are Ravenclaws?
I think he might be a Hufflepuff as well, to be honest.
I think Sam would be a
Sam is
Gryffindor.
Sam is
No.
Harry Potter, I'd say.
No, I think Sam is Ravenclaw.
What's Ravenclaw though? Remind me. I can't remember. They're kind of. I know Hufflepuffs are the hard workers. Call out there. Someone have a look what Ravenclaws do. What's their kind of primary feature?
So that would
Are they
be
cunning? Are they
that would
smart?
be brains over brawn, and I would argue that
Brains.
Sam would put that first before the bravery element. But if you really want to get into house lore,
But cross country
we're
and
gonna
stuff.
really dive into that. Yeah, but there can be secondary elements as well that people can show from other houses. But as far as a primary house, I would argue he's still Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw is wisdom, wit, intellect, and prized learning. Slytherin.
That'll do. I'll have one of that. I'll have a bit of Ravenclaw.
Okay, it's
Like you are not
ambitious,
so smart.
shrewd, cunning, strong leaders, and achievement orientated.
Like, hang on, just say that again. Listen to Jenny. What is Jenny's role now?
Ambitious, shrewd, cunning, strong leader, and achievement orientated.
She's literally beaming. Big break on Mercury's head in her.
Do you want to know what Hufflepuff is?
Go on, yeah.
Hard work, dedication, patience, loyalty, and fair play. That's
I don't
totally
think
me.
I could be more of a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, that's totally me. And then Gryffindor is courage, chivalry, and determination.
Yeah, Sam's brave, but he's not
He's
chivalrous.
Ravenclaw.
He's a Ravenclaw.
He's definitely a Ravenclaw, 100%.
Okay, then who is our Gryffindors? So you need to be brave. Oh, Harry Mead. Could he be Harry Potter?
It's brave. Like, to me, a Gryffindor is values bravery over everything else. So, like, at the end of the day, it's throw your heart in first without any
Chivalry,
kind of.
You need to be chivalrous.
Could we say that Oliver Townend was our Gryffindor?
No, I don't think you could. They're going
Spike
to
is laughing a lot, listeners.
They're going to let me weasel my own way out of the hole that I've I've jumped into. Okay, so no Gryffindors. We've established some good housework there from Deborah. I like it. Expelliarmus. Okay, XXX. Oh, I like this one from Emery. I think we've had a couple from Emery, but Xerox. If you could have copies of anything, what would it be? I am wondering. You can take this any way you want. If you could have a copy of something. So in my life, I'd probably take a copy of Georgia Patrick. What a handy little tool Georgia Patrick is in the Eckratings arsenal of weapons. She can be the head analyst on eventing. She can be the head analyst on jumping. She can deliver you the top 5 dressage scores at any venue in the world. But equally, she can, do the front end development on a range of apps. You don't find a Georgia Patrick every day. So if I could have 2 of them, I would take another one.
Particularly as she found you, didn't she? In a way.
She found us.
Sam. She found Sam.
She found Sam.
Well, she found me as well. All right.
It's not about you, Dee. It's not about you.
It's not all about me, but it's a bit about me. At least with Eckratings, it's a little bit about me. She found us, yes, but we love her.
Nurtured that talent and watched it grow.
Yeah, we were just the clay. We were the dirt and the muck around the seed, and then the light and the water came from other people and the world, and now Georgia has blossomed from a weed to a flower.
It's very visceral.
Thank you. So I'd have a copy of Georgia. Who wants to go? Peter, what would you have a copy of?
So I used to say, I could do with a copy of myself to just get all the work done and get everything done. But I think actually since the turn of the year and having rearranged my life a little bit and setting up my own business and being a bit of a guardian of my own work-life balance, I don't think I would say that anymore. So that's fine. So what else would I like a copy of?
Look at him sat there on his velvet cushion again.
Yeah, this is the velvet cushion bit. And that's actually cute. Rosie, if you're listening, that's the piece that Peter mentioned he would say in terms of just playing in that little ad about Peter Spike.
What about the Spike Milligan Performance Horse Consultant?
Exactly. Not taking any more clients, so you can queue up, you can ring him, you can email him. But he won't take you as a client because he don't need you, baby. He's full up.
I mean, a bit harsh, Steve, but okay.
It's an interesting case, an interesting horse.
I've got a horse that needs vetting. I'm full.
Oh, I'll do that. I do vettings, D. Don't worry about that.
Full.
Very reasonable prices. I'll happily do lots of vettings.
Oh, for the benefit of the tape listeners, Diarm, Nicole, and Jenni are all making money signs, or like when you run pound notes together, £50 notes, because it's like
we're making money signs at Peter, and he wasn't denying it. And now, as he's telling you about his, his ability to vet, he's smiling away. Anyway, we joke because there is very few vets as good and as caring as Peter Spike Milligan. You'd be lucky to have him. Nickers, you're on mute over there. What do you want to make a copy of?
She was going to interrupt you and say, no, there isn't.
I was actually going to say, fair play, because I imagine vetting a horse is a minefield and you could find something wrong with pretty much everything. And so fair play, Spike. That's what I was going to say.
Well, that's where the experience and the subtlety comes in, Nicole. Suitable for purchase.
Maybe he is more of a Slytherin than we think.
Anyway, what's next, D?
I don't know. Do you and Jay want to copy anything?
Oh, right. When you said that, I thought copies like paper copies or like a copy of a book.
Like a photocopier.
So my brain went in a totally different direction.
It's kind of you're right. And like Xerox is Xerox a brand of
photocopier
or photocopy paper?
Probably both, to be honest.
Probably both. Anyway, Jay, you're right, but I suppose we're adapting. Would you have a copy of? Let me think. Would you have a copy of? Would you have two Z's? Would you like another Z? Would you like another Mighty Nice? You loved that boy, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, for talking copies of horses, that's an interesting one.
I mean, if you're going to copy a horse, surely you're going to go and copy the greatest Le Biest at Exam.
But he couldn't ride for America. He'd only make.
Why not? He's your copy.
Maybe a Winsome Adante. They just had him in Horse and Hound. Did everyone see that? It was a nice feature on him.
What on the Horse and Hound
Winsome
podcast?
Adante.
Winsome Adante.
He wasn't on the podcast, D, I don't think.
That's quite an
Now he was
exclusive.
in Horse and Hound. There was a nice feature on him.
We're a week behind over here, Jay, on Horse and Hound, as in Ireland.
We don't even get it here. I have to read it online.
Winsome Adante, yeah, that would be a good copy. And you might as well make a copy of Kim while you're in there. It'd be handy to have another one of her knocking around. A champ. Do you want anything before I go on, Nicole? I'm coming on to the last question.
I mean, if we're allowed, are we allowed to copy something and have it like at a later date?
What does that even mean?
We'll decide when we hear your answer.
Well, I would have my dog again, so that I could have twice as long with my dog.
Oh, it's very touching.
Touching. You're talking to a Slytherin and probably another Slytherin than you. So that's why,
Okay, well, Spike gets it.
Jenni was rudely dismissed when she talked about the cats in her palace. And I think that is a little bit of payback for you.
Okay. All right, well, I just have my dog. So, okay.
Okay, last then, but not least, X Factor. A couple of ways you can take this. Firstly, if you were a judge, I think we can move through that pretty quickly. We would have Jenny, you'd be Sharon Osbourne. Peter, you'd be Louis Walsh. Nicole, you'd be Rita Ora. And I would be...
Can I not be Nicole Scherzinger?
You're more of a Rita. I could
only dream of ever being that sexy. So, you know.
As Nicole or as Rita? I think Rita.
As either, to be fair.
Yeah, Rita's one of the top, cream of the crop, rise to the top. I don't think I'd be Simon. Jenny would be Simon, if anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, we definitely wouldn't be.
No.
Who was Jenny and Sharon Osbourne? I think you'd be quite like to be Sharon Osbourne, Dee.
I'd be probably more Sharon Osbourne, and Jenny would be more Simon. What would you sing though if you had to go on, lads? What would you do? You've got one song.
I mean,
and by the way, you have to sing it. As good or as bad as a singer you are, you're going on X Factor and you're gonna have to sing a song. Now you might not get through, but you're going on the telly and you're gonna have to sing the song. So you might as well sing the song you like.
On X Factor, I would be that person, you know, that they do the VT about that is really awful, like horrendously awful. Cats probably howl at my singing. I'm terrible. But recently, every time we've got in the car, Toby has announced, "Dance, mummy, dance," as we get in the car. So we have like a little like sing song on the way to nursery in the morning. Right. And what generally happens is it takes us 2 rotations of S Club 7's Reach with all of the movements of like Reach, and then we bash the car ceiling to get to nursery and then get home again. So that would be my song at the moment.
Now, I'm going to come back to it, but I want you just to prepare yourself that we're going to be signing out with a little small bit of everybody's song, okay? It's, Nicole, it's for the sake of Alphabetti Spaghetti, and it's only, everyone's shaking their heads, it's only, I'm just going to get you to start, and then I'm going to play it.
If you want to sing so badly, then just do it. Go.
I don't want to sing at all. I'm being the Nicole camp. I'd be an awful singer. But I give it my best shot, but I wouldn't be good. You know, I'd be very bad.
What's your song, Dee?
I wouldn't have anything off the top of my head. I suppose I'd be a big fan of Garth Brooks. So you could put on.
Never would have guessed that to be your answer in a million
Looking
years.
back on the memory of.
I've seen Garth Brooks in concert, so.
Yeah, we missed out on it. People in Ireland will know that Garrett had agreed 10 days in Croke Park. 10 whole days. And the residents objected. And we didn't get him. It was one of those kind of controversial moments. Yeah, we missed out on Garth Brooks. I'd be a big fan of Garth Brooks. I'd be a big fan, as you know, Jenny, of Celine Dion. So
yeah, of course.
Probably Think Twice would be right up there at the top of my list, you know, or the top 3 songs that you could go on.
Yeah. I
think that Think Twice album is probably the answer. I think I'd do Celine.
It's a good choice.
What about yourself, Jay?
I don't know. There's so many choices. You go something like show tunes, some Evita, that could be good. Or you could go.
Thank you, Evita.
Exactly. You could go something like that. It's always a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Or like from Billy Joel, Only the Good Die Young. Also a crowd pleaser.
You'd be very into yourself, and John Kyle gave the old musicals a good bash there one night. You'd be you could do Phantom of the Opera and that stuff, could you?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a bit predictable, so you could do better than that.
Go on then. What do you reckon? Just give us the crowd. I want you to imagine, right? You walk out onto the stage, you're all dressed in black, your hair straight, not curlied like it normally is. Your hair is iron straight, okay? And you walk out, you've got big killer heels on, and the place is silent, and you know they can hear the heels, and the place is silent, and you know they can hear the heels walking across the stage. And then you get to the microphone and they say, "Who are you and where are you from?" "I'm Jenny, originally from Pennsylvania, but I'm living in Kentucky." And then everyone goes, "What are you going to sing for us, Jenny?" And then you stay silent for a minute. And everyone's like, "What are you going to sing for us, Jenny?" And now it's one of those shots on X Factor. You know, when like they start doing shots of the crowd and everyone's like, you're thinking more like Paul Potts and who's the other girl, Nicole? Who like
Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle, right? That's what we're all thinking.
Bit harsh, Jenny, but right? You know.
The crowd are thinking, oh, this is a Paul Potts, Susan Boyle situation. Right? And then you open your mouth, what comes out, Jenny?
Well, I mean, I can't sing. I would just like to.
I know, but I can't sing either. But in your head, what would you do?
I think if we go Vita, "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," like that would bring the house down. That would bring the house down.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I'm not singing it, but that's a showstopper. That is a showstopper.
I'm undeserving of such attention, unless we all are. I think we all are. So share my promise. So share our distance.
Are we not wrapping? Don't give it away too soon. We've got to wrap up with these songs.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up, right? Okay. No, that was excellent. I actually, the crowd are on their feet. They're cheering. The little girl from Pennsylvania has delivered. And now, if ever we did have a Paul Potts situation on our hands, Peter Milligan, you're walking on. I want you to imagine you're wearing that kind of blue type suit that you're wearing this evening.
He's not wearing a blue suit. It's like going to bed on a Friday night. Spike is not sat here in a blue suit.
It's a blue blazer.
I've got my Austin Powers suit on. Got my blue velvet suit, my white ruffly shirt.
Okay, you walk on, right? You say, "What's your name?" Peter.
See, D, for starters, I literally can't sing, so there's not a chance in hell I would ever go on X Factor. Not a chance in hell.
But for the sake of getting the name out there for the performance consultant business,
I think I'd probably sing Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay.
Peter. For a man that can't sing, you have chosen an incredibly difficult song.
Yeah, but then that's
one of those ones here, right? You're halfway in, right? And Simon over there in Pennsylvania, she turns around, in Kentucky. She turns around and she goes, whoa. She goes, you know what, mate? You've come here, you're in your blue suit, your hair's done. You can sing. You've just picked the wrong song. Right? And everyone's like, you can do it. And the tension is running through the crowd again. God, I miss X Factor. The tension's running through the crowd again. And everyone's like, maybe he can sing. And then you go, okay, give me one more chance. And Rita Oro's down there and she goes, give him a chance, Simon. Give him a chance, Jenny. Give him a chance. And then suddenly, I'll give you a song that you could sing that would take the house down. You could do Sweet Caroline, Peter.
No, I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah, but that is not
cliche, doesn't it?
Let the man do Iris. He wants to do Iris.
Look, Jenny, you and I know how difficult Iris is for a man that can't sing. Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. I would challenge anyone who's listening to this podcast now, if you're out on a hack, bird a crack, turn this rubbish off.
Yeah, but this is I'm not actually trying to sing it.
Type in Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls and just listen. And I want you to imagine Peter Spike Milligan trying to do this on his own.
It's just great lyrics, isn't it? That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. That's what we're ending on. So what I was thinking is we'd let Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls play us out.
Yeah, that's
ladies
Spike.
and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Is there anything we want to talk to Jay about? Because we won't see her until... All right, Peter, are you ready? Hang on, we'll pause. We'll say our goodbyes to everybody first, because you've heard the music coming in there. Say our goodbyes. It is fairly special to have Jay back on the pod, isn't it? I mean, what do we get? Once every 3 months these days? And often, I mean, unless you're, of course, listening to the USEA podcast where you can hear her doing the Team Talk show.
It's such a different Jenny. Like,
oh, well, it has to
that
be.
That is professional Jenny. And... this is like our Jenny that talks about exes and the X Factor and pajamas.
Not talking about any exes. I would like to point that out. I'd like to state that for the record.
Actually, we didn't even we only did the X on Spike, didn't we?
Yeah. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
But lots of luck, team. Good to be back.
Good to have you. It's great to have you. Peter, always a pleasure.
Never a chore.
You're a great man. We love you very much. Nicole Brown, see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed first thing in the morning.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, we won't, because tomorrow's Saturday.
I'll probably message you still at 7:30 with something work-related because I've been up since like 4 or something, and you'll go...
There is somebody on the website wondering if they can have the link for the Discord group.
I'm not that bad. But I do work funny hours. There you go.
The song topped Billboard radio song chart for a record 18 weeks in 1998. And coming to you tonight from Peter Spike Milligan in his blue shirt, his blue blazer, his white shirt, and his brown leather brogues. Peter, take it away.
Give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest that I'll ever be, and I don't want to. All I can taste is this.
Come on, Peter.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We're among friends.
Sooner or later it's over. I just don't want to lose you. And I don't want the world to see me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Alphabetti Spaghetti. We'll see you all again soon. We're coming close to the end. Couple of letters to go. But this was X. And you had Nicole Brown, Peter Spike Milligan, and Jenni Autry. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to you, Strawmax.
Moment of truth in your life, when everything feels like the movies. Yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive.
Thank you for listening to the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. And I look forward to having you back with us soon.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more.
Listeners, we'll speak to you again soon.
Now, listeners, there is a very, very special competition that is going on at the moment because Aztec Diamond Equestrian have just launched the £30,000 Dream Wishlist giveaway. They wanted to tell all of their customers just what they mean to them. So they have compiled a wish list of prizes, and one lucky person is going to win the whole lot. It is worth £30,000. It's absolutely incredible. There is an Equitrek trailer in there. There is £1,000 spending money on Aztec Diamond, a Pessoa saddle, and a bridle. I mean, a saddle and a bridle set. £800 to spend on Joshua Jones boots, a Charles Owen helmet. There is an intensive course with equine coach Sandy Robertson. And to top it all off, a year's supply of feed from Blue Chip. All you have to do is go to Aztec Diamond Equestrian on Instagram. Make sure that you enter, and you can find out lots of different ways of entering as well by visiting the website aztecdiamondequestrian.com. And while you're there, check it out because there is 10% off the website while this competition runs. So what are you waiting for? Go and give it a go at Aztec Diamond Equestrian, and you could be in with a chance of winning the £30,000 Dream Wishlist giveaway. Go, go, go.